Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Astronomy channel, where we explore the kind of absurd cosmic physics that would probably make the universe file a complaint. Today, we are taking things to a whole new level of disaster. We are going to simulate a truly catastrophic event, the impact of two moons crashing into our beloved planet Earth. One moon will slam into the North Pole, while the other will strike the South Pole head-on. In other words, Earth is about to get squeezed like the most unfortunate cosmic sandwich in history. So, let's see what would actually happen. Right now, our planet has an incredible 91% chance of supporting life. But the real question is, would that number survive what we are about to do next? To begin this extremely questionable experiment, we are going to launch an actual moon straight toward the North Pole. My condolences to the polar bears, because this is about to become the worst day in Arctic history. And then, just to make sure Antarctica does not feel left out, we will send a second moon crashing into the South Pole as well. After all, we cannot let the penguins sit there feeling jealous without receiving their own apocalyptic gift. At this moment, both moons are already positioned on a direct course toward Earth, and just that image alone would be enough to make every astronomer, physicist, and weather reporter collectively panic. From the surface of the planet, the view would be absolutely breathtaking. Two enormous celestial bodies hanging in the sky, one aligned with the north and the other with the south, creating a scene so beautiful it would look fake, and so terrifying it would feel like the universe had finally decided to stop being subtle. Even before the actual impacts, the effects would begin. The gravitational pull of two moon-sized objects approaching Earth at the same time would start disturbing the planet long in advance. The oceans would no longer behave normally. Tides would become extreme, unstable, and wildly unpredictable, as if the seas themselves were having a full emotional breakdown. Coastlines could begin to flood, currents would shift violently, and the entire balance of the planet would start to wobble under the strain. And it would not just be the water. Earth's crust would also begin responding to the changing gravitational forces. Tiny shifts at first, then more serious stress building deep underground. Earthquakes could become more frequent, volcanic systems could be pushed closer to instability, and the atmosphere itself might start behaving strangely. The sky, despite looking magnificent, would carry the feeling that something was deeply wrong. It would be the kind of beauty that makes you stare for a second too long before realizing you should probably be running. From Earth, the sight would be unforgettable. The two moons would appear much larger and brighter than our familiar moon, dominating the heavens in a way that would feel almost mythological. Nights would become eerily luminous, shadows would sharpen, and in the polar regions, the sky could glow with distorted light, ice reflections, and surreal colors. It would be a spectacular cosmic performance, except the final act is very bad news for literally everyone watching. For now, though, the planet is still intact. The collision has not happened yet. But everything about this moment would feel like the calm before the most violent double impact in Earth's history. Let's speed things up and get straight to the outcome, because we are clearly far beyond the point of, let's stay calm and observe. At this stage, the approach of both moons would be completely unavoidable, and any realistic hope of saving life on Earth would be fading fast. The gravitational chaos alone would already be turning the planet into a global disaster zone with massive tidal surges, violent crustal stress, and a sky that looks way too cinematic for anyone's comfort. So honestly, our best option would be to leave. Fast. Maybe a colony on Mars could take us in, assuming they are accepting desperate Earth refugees. And if not, Perhaps Titan might be an option too, because when two moons are about to crush your planet from both ends, suddenly a freezing methane world starts sounding weirdly cozy. The moment the impacts happen, the change would be immediate and brutal. On the menu to the right, we would watch the planet's life probability crash downward almost in real time, while the global temperature would spike so fast it would look less like a warning and more like Earth rage quitting existence. And honestly, that would be the least subtle clue that things are not going well. As soon as the first moon strikes the North Pole and the second slams into the South Pole, the energy released would be beyond catastrophic. We are not talking about a bad day for civilization. We are talking about an event so violent that it would rewrite the entire surface of the planet in minutes. The impact zones would not just form craters, they would become colossal wounds in Earth's crust, instantly vaporizing ice, rock, ocean water, and atmosphere in quantities so absurd that the poles would disappear inside expanding firestorms, superheated debris, and pressure waves moving across the globe. The temperature rise would be almost immediate because both collisions would dump an unimaginable amount of kinetic energy into the planet. The atmosphere would be flash-heated. Vast amounts of molten rock and vaporized material would be blasted upward, only to fall back down across the world like a global rain of fire. The skies would darken with ash, steam, dust, and incandescent debris. For a brief moment, parts of the planet might glow like a furnace. It would be less weather event and more Earth has accidentally entered the oven setting. And then come the tsunamis. Since both poles are tied into the global oceans, the impacts would displace staggering amounts of water all at once. Walls of water thousands of meters high could begin racing away from the polar regions in every direction. Entire coastlines would vanish. Continents would be hammered from both hemispheres, with wave after wave colliding into land masses, surging inland, and erasing cities, forests, infrastructure, and basically every map ever printed. At that point, owning beachfront property would become a truly unfortunate life choice. The shockwaves alone would be enough to wipe out most life almost immediately. These would not be ordinary blast waves. They would be planetary-scale pressure fronts ripping through the atmosphere and ground at terrifying speed. Winds faster than any hurricane in history would flatten everything standing. Buildings, mountainsides, ice sheets, even sections of crust already weakened by tectonic stress could collapse or fracture. Earthquakes would erupt across fault lines worldwide, and volcanic systems could be pushed into simultaneous eruption. The whole planet would behave less like a stable world and more like a cracked bell being struck with two cosmic hammers. If anyone somehow survived the first minute, the following hours would still be unsurvivable for most complex life. The oceans would be boiling in some regions, frozen vapor clouds would be thrown into the upper atmosphere, and debris from the impacts could begin orbiting Earth before falling back down. Firestorms would ignite across entire continents. The air would become nearly impossible to breathe, loaded with ash, steam, toxic gases, and pulverized material. Sunlight might later be blocked by thick ejector clouds, but first there would be a hellish phase of extreme heat, darkness, thunder, and global destruction. And the truly terrifying part is that this is not just surface damage. Impacts of this scale could destabilize Earth's rotation, alter the tilt of the planet, and severely disrupt the balance of the core and mantle. The planet itself might not break apart instantly, but it would no longer be the Earth we know. It would become a battered, overheated, flooded, burning world, struggling to remain structurally coherent after being hit from both ends at nearly the same time. So yes, as that life probability number collapses on the side menu, it would not be exaggerating. It would be politely understating the problem. Because after two moons smash into both poles, Earth would not just become inhospitable. It would become a cosmic disaster site with oceans in rebellion, continents under attack, and absolutely no customer support available. We fast forward a few years into the future, and the planet looks almost unrecognizable. Some continents and entire countries have been partially or completely erased from the map. Canada, for example, has had an especially terrible time and is now less of a nation and more of a geological memory. Coastlines have been redrawn, entire regions have vanished beneath the oceans, and the scars of the double impact are still visible from space. It is the kind of damage that would make any world map instantly outdated. And yet, despite all of that destruction, something remarkable begins to happen. Earth starts doing what Earth has always done best, stubbornly trying again. Little by little, the chaos begins to settle. The atmosphere starts to stabilize. Temperatures begin to drop from their apocalyptic peak, and a new layer of green starts spreading across the recovering land. Life probability begins to rise once more, and the planet's overall similarity slowly starts moving back towards something familiar. Not identical, of course, more like Earth after the worst makeover in cosmic history. And that tells us something fascinating. Even after being hit by 2 moons, Earth is unbelievably hard to completely destroy. To put that into perspective, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs is estimated to have been about 10 to 15 kilometers wide. That impact caused mass extinction on a global scale, changed the climate, collapsed ecosystems, and ended the age of dinosaurs. But it did not destroy the planet itself. Earth survived, broken, burning, and furious, but still here. So in the end, the lesson is almost insulting in its simplicity. Wiping out life is one thing, but wiping out Earth is much harder. Not even 1 moon, or 2 of them, would necessarily be enough to completely erase the planet. Earth would be battered, flooded, scorched, shaken, and turned into the universe's least attractive vacation destination, but eventually, it would still begin the slow process of recovering. Because apparently this planet is built with the cosmic equivalent of still works somehow. Well, since the moons did not quite finish the job, I guess we will have to do it ourselves. Humanity really does have that special talent for looking at a cosmic disaster and saying, "Don't worry, we can probably make it worse." But before we casually end civilization in some brand new and creative way, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and tell me in the comments what simulation you want to see next. Because if we are going to destroy planets, moons, and possibly our last bit of common sense, we might as well do it together.